Hey everyone, welcome to my brain. So, as you can see, clearly I don't have any kind of real setup. All I have are thoughts that I have accumulated that I finally decided to just put out there. I've been wanting to get them out of my head, and I feel like I've seen a lot of things regarding topics that interest me to where I can put out a perspective that I feel is valuable and possibly a few that are different and hopefully raise discussion. So on this channel, what I'm going to be talking about most of the time is a topic that's very fascinating to me, and that is atheism. It is, I think that it's fascinating on its own. I think it's fascinating how it's being received in the modern world and how it's progressing, the challenges that it faces, and it's something I've been following for almost a decade now. And I feel like I have some things and perspectives and questions that I don't really see being discussed, or if they are being discussed, I don't think that it hurts to try to have another angle on it to hopefully have others understand better. The particular topic that got me to want to make a video at all is a very recent one to me, and that is the new commentator on C.N.N's Crossfire. Her name is S.E. Cupp. For those of you who don't know, S.E. Cupp is an up-and-coming news commentator, and her unique perspective that she is bringing to the table is she is professing to be a conservative atheist. She has been seen on MSNBC, she's been interviewed on Fox News and Bill Maher, and she has recently become the new host on C.N.N's Crossfire, or co-host. S.E. Cupp has also recently written a book, Losing Our Religion, and she professes to be an atheist in the way that she feels she does not have all the answers, but she is not ready to put God in the box of what she doesn't know. However, even as an atheist, she feels that the atheist community and the liberal community are unfairly and aggressively attacking Christian values. And she feels that this nation is mostly made up of Christians, and we have come a long way as a nation together, and those values have been pretty prevalent throughout that time, and that position deserves respect. The reason why S.E. Cupp is so fascinating and controversial isn't the fact that she's a conservative atheist. Conservative atheists exist. It's not a contradictory term. The thing that is unique about S.E. Cupp is the way she talks about atheism and Christianity as an atheist. It's a little peculiar. She'll say things like that she doesn't believe in God, but she's not mad at him, and she doesn't understand why atheists are being so aggressive towards respecting Christianity. She'll say things like she wishes she could be a person of faith, but she just can't bring herself to. She wishes she could be. She'll say things like she wouldn't vote for an atheist president because she feels that the majority of the country is Christian, and a president should represent the majority of a nation. All these things are interesting stances that aren't very common at all. In fact, I've never heard anything like that, especially combined and with such vigor. And there are those that think that she is either a self-loathing atheist, which I think she would consider herself a self-loathing atheist, if she's being genuine, or that she is faking it. She's just waiting for an opportune time to write a book professing that she's found God, and that any person that really thinks about it, of course, will come to the conclusion that there is a God, and, that can lend her very powerful positions in media or in politics or etc. And that's what most of the atheist community is raising an eyebrow about. So that's the basics of this particular topic with S.E. Cupp. And there are better explanations, and you can see clips that she has been in herself. You can look at Jaclyn Glenn's take, or The Friendly Atheist, or Penn and Jillette from Penn and Teller. They all have interesting takes on her. Here's the different thing that fascinates me. While I think that they all could be right, and that she's going to, write a book any minute now about how she found God, and it's stupid to be an atheist, and use that for leverage for whatever. The thing that I find fascinating is that there's a chance that she's absolutely being legit about her position. And that would be fascinating. And in this video, I want to talk about if she is being legit, or even if she's not, but someone else out there is just like what she professes she is. And I want to talk about that. Here's one of the things that really fascinates me: if she's telling the truth. That would make a very interesting story to follow. I would love to know more about what kind of background she's from, and how she came to her conclusion that she does not believe there is a God, which is all an atheist is. And so, from what it looks like to me, and this is all speculation, I could be way off, it looks like to me that she grew up very conservative, very Christian, very privileged, and of course she's very attractive. So that wouldn't give her a lot of reason to pause and really think about how the world works, and compared to how she thinks it works. Her background that I know of, she did a lot of religious studies, and so if she's come to the conclusion that she does not believe there's a God, through all that upbringing that would never once ask you or accept you for, taking a second look at things, you have to give her some credit for some critical thinking skills that brought her to that, even in the midst of privilege. What would also be interesting is, the thing that makes it a little weird, if that is the case, is that typically a lot of the atheists that I follow, and myself included, when you really start taking a second look into things that you've held true forever, you tend to do that with everything surrounding you. It's a hard process, but I think that's why there's a lot of liberal atheists, and because they see all the corruption, not just religious, but they see all the different suffering, and they don't take anything for granted anymore. And it's interesting that if she is an honest atheist, that she has applied her critical thinking to come to that conclusion, but she really hasn't, at least professed, to put that critical thinking to other areas of the world and her surroundings. She might not realize she really could need to, or she might even start thinking along those lines, but if she's brought up in that environment, she's probably struggling with her family and her friends that have always been there for her and are being supportive and see her being successful, and then coming to find out she doesn't believe in God. And I think she might be trying to be as kind and respectful as possible to her very privileged upbringing, and not wanting to ruffle the feathers as much as possible. So that might serve as an explanation as to why it's a little weird, the way she is going about it and what she tends to say. I do think that if that's all true, or if some version of that is pretty dead on, I think this serves to be a really interesting opportunity if she continues to stay in the public eye. It might be a really fascinating time to watch someone in the middle of the process of coming to see the world as it is, and wanting to help as much as possible, and helping other people be skeptical. And that would also be a great time for an atheist community to lend our support and show her that it's not the end of the world. And while she has the attention of her conservative friends, maybe she really can be a help to bridge the gaps. I don't think we should put too much on her shoulders, and I do think there's a kind of Palin-esque quality to her that makes me a little uncomfortable, but I still think if that's what's going on, that would be an interesting opportunity, that if handled properly, it would be interesting, I think, which is why I decided to make a video. Again, I know that it's gonna all be BS, and she really is just wanting attention and power, and to call us stupid atheists. But again, it's a fascinating theoretical discussion if it's not that way, or if someone else out there is like her, and what to look for if there is. So that's it.